getting into his rhythm. That first round was a little bit of a feel-out round for him. Although he got in the best punch, I gave the round to Don Lee because of more aggressiveness. He was doing all the fighting in the leading. So far, we have not seen Don Lee switch up like he usually does. He's comfortable in that left-hand stance now. He says these new trainers have taught him to bend over, opposed to what they teach you at the Kronk gym. So far, he looks like he's straight up and down to me.
Very quiet crowd, that time responding to the left hand of Don Lee. Coming up on a minute to go in this second round. Michael Olajide fighting the same battle that you have faced, Purdy, most of your life, trying to prove that he's not just a pretty face.
I hope he's doing better than I did.
Good left hand to stagger Olajide. And Olajide right back.
Look at Olajide on the attack. He was severely stunned. His legs went out from under him. He came right back to the attack. Could be a big mistake with Don Lee, who's got thunder in both hands.
That is time remaining in the second round.
Well, no shortage of heart so far in Michael Olajide. He was severely stunned. He came back with a thunderous volley and drove back Lee, who should have been right on the attack.
Olajide momentarily going up on his toes. Final seconds, second round.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence. Become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
Once upon a time, millions of us roamed the bathrooms of America. We're bull shavers, convinced we had to use shavers with all kinds of expensive extras. But we don't pay an arm and a hoof anymore, because us bull shavers are becoming
Bic shavers. Bic gives us an extraordinary shave at an extraordinary price, without bells or whistles. To pay more makes you, well, bullheaded. Try the Bic for normal or sensitive skin, and you too will have a beat.
with bull shaving.
22-year-old Michael "The Silk" Olajide out for round 3, meeting up with dangerous Don Lee, who was told between rounds by John Russell, bang the body, then go up top on Olajide.
Well, he's trying to tell him to double jab him. Well, you can't double jab a guy that's moving as fast as Olajide. What Olajide is doing is trying to go to his left to get away from the left hand or right jab of Don Lee. One of the things that's remarkable about Olajide is the motion he gets when he's so far, his feet are planted so far apart. I mean, he shouldn't have much motion. When his feet are that far apart and an attack comes, you can't get away that fast.
And Lee's corner feels the key to the fight will be Lee's balance. The fact that Lee has that strong left hand. John Russell is trying to make him use his legs and move. Working on hooks to the body as well.
While these guys are patient and they're just trying to find the range and trying to find the keys to one another, you feel like you're sitting on a barrel of dynamite. Both of them have the kind of punch that can stun you, and they have stunned each other already.
Although the question concerning Olajide has been the punching power. He does come off a third-round knockout of Richard Burton earlier this month at the Felt Forum at the Garden.
After that second round, you got to worry about his chin because he got really stunned. It's wonderful to have the fighting ability to come back, but sometime when you're not completely clear and come fighting back, that's when you get nailed. In his case, he pulled it off well in the second round.
And Olajide got caught following that miss.
Everything he does is spectacular, even the misses. and he got nailed for that one. He was too far exposed.
Olajide catapulted in the rankings this past year with victories over veterans Curtis Parker and James Hard Rock Green and Ray Gray.
What a masterful exhibition of defense that just was. Don Lee threw about 6 punches, none of which landed, because of the upper body motion and the head motion of Olajide. One of the things that's going to be a factor in this fight is conditioning. Olajide is one of these conditioning maniacs that's always in the gym working. On the part of Don Lee, while he's always been a finely conditioned fighter, he took this on 2 weeks' notice, and he was overweight then. How overweight and how much weight was lost is conjectural.
And seems to be breathing heavily right here, and we're only 3rd round.
You know, I'm not.
Round 4 from Atlantic City, New Jersey, Michael Olajide in the white and Don Lee in the black. And, right hand by Olajide, who from time to time will step it up. What does the Fight Doctor scorecard show?
Quite unofficially, I have Olajide at 29-28, but I must say it's an extremely difficult fight to score. It could very well be even, and it could very well be 1 point to Don Lee. It depends on whether you like this great defense Olajide is putting on, or whether you like a guy that doggedly hangs in there and carries the fight to the other man. For the first time, Don Lee switched from lefty to righty.
And he caught Olajide off balance. Lee, a natural right-hander, first turned southpaw in the 1981 National Golden Gloves Tournament. Coming off an illustrious amateur career, winning 196 out of 202 bouts. And Vinny Ranoni breaking the fighters and telling Lee to pick up the blows. Olajide, managed and trained by his father, Michael Sr., once the Nigerian lightweight champion. There he is, Michael Sr., close friend of the late middleweight and light heavyweight champion Dick Tiger, also a native of Nigeria.
And in his corner also is Matt Dibley, a Canadian mounted policeman who came all the way from Vancouver. Did you see his horse out on the boardwalk?
Yes, I noticed that.
He had to start out last November to get here. In the meantime, in the ring, there's the speed of Olajuwon is beginning to tell on Don Lee.
Is that Akeem the Dream?
I now owe you $2 for having said it, Olajuwon. You were the one that's supposed to say that. You're a basketball man.
Left hand by Lee that landed. Akeem the Dream Olajuwon will be an interesting middleweight at his height.
And a difficult fight to call. I have no doubt you could do it, Marv.
Under a minute to go. This is round 4, scheduled for 10. 22-year-old Michael Olajide, born in Liverpool, England, grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, now living in New York City. Dangerous Don Lee is 26 years old, out of Gary, Indiana, now living and training in Tyler, Texas. Combination by Olajide.
If Don Lee had a little bit more speed in his counter punches, he could catch the elusive. Good right hand by Olajide. Olajide just moves out there in time.
Final seconds. 4th round.